So we lost in our first attempt against Rourke, then we lost in our second attempt against Wake, and then in our third attempt we made it all the way down to Cynthia and lost again, and then took a long break from the game, and now we're back, giving Pokemon Renegade Platinum a fourth attempt. Just want to say before we jump into things, we keep coming close to a very reachable distance of 3.3k subscribers, and we're trying to hit it as quickly as possible. So if you're new to the channel, find yourself enjoying the content, make sure you smash that big red button. You won't regret it, as once said by a reliable source. I'm assuming most of you know the rules by now, so if that's the case, there's a number on the screen right now. Skip to that number in the video and it will take you straight into it. And if not, don't worry, I'll try and keep things brief as I explain them. So yeah, let's go get into the rules. So the first rule is that we can only catch one Pokemon per area. It's also got to be the first Pokemon that we see. We're also not allowed to over level as the second rule, and there's no items allowed in battle except from held items. They're the only exception there for rule number 3. Battle style must be put as set, and we've got species clause as well. So say if we see a Pokemon in one route and then we go to the next route and it's also the same Pokemon or an evolution of that, then we're allowed to re-roll until it's something else. And then lastly, if a Pokemon faints, it's classed as dead and can no longer be used in the run. And with all that said, let's get into things. So we start off by picking our starter, and we're going to go get Chimchar here. Also, if you notice on the bottom right hand screen there is a lot of things with the stats on. Basically that's a tool we've got, and I just want to explain that actually in this the colours are the wrong way around. So blue actually means plus stats and red means minus. So the first rival battle here doesn't actually count too much, because the problem is that the Nuzlocke doesn't start until we got the Pokedex or the Pokeballs. So it's like if we lose this, it doesn't matter, but we actually win. This fight's normally like a 75% loss as well, so we won, which means we've got a very good Chimchar. I'll go give it the nickname Oran. I also get Turtwig and Piplup as well before putting him into my PC. Also, if you can hear somebody talking, my friend's been in the Discord call with me a lot of times during these playthroughs. I'm using a lot of the original audios in these clips than usual when I normally overlay music, because I actually don't like how it sounds. But anyway, after this we go up to Jubilife, get a egg, and we get a Togepi in it. And Togepi is really good because it's going to help us a lot later in the run. It does mean that we miss out on Charmander and the other 2 Kanto starters, but Togepi honestly is going to help us out a lot more in the run later, and I'll tell you why soon. Outside of Jubilife City, then I'll go capture myself a Magikarp. Also guys, I'm only going to show the main captures that I get as well. I'm not going to show captures on every route and stuff like that because it makes the video too long. This game is way too long compared to other Pokemon games. But yeah, we go evolve Oran, and then we go get into the first rival fight with our rival. We've called him A, but I'll probably call him Barry throughout the video. So we take down the Starly with a Flame Wheel. And then next out comes Piplup, and honestly I was throwing really bad against him. And yeah, that's another thing. Bidoof evolves at level 15 here and I kept it at 14. But yeah, it's not too good. But yeah, we managed to get through it eventually, but we were throwing quite a lot in this fight. Especially with the bad luck as well. I got him confused and all this different stuff. It just wasn't going well. But yeah, we did manage to get through with no deaths. That's nice, at least. It took a while, but after spamming a few mud shots, we was able to lower its speed. Get it down to half-life after another mud shot, and then now I had to go make the hard switch over into Monferno. It was very risky, to be honest. My friend also was telling me don't do it, but I pretty much did it. It's just what I had to do. I did have to do it because I didn't want to sack anybody. And then I go and use Mach Punch here. I was also telling him that I didn't care about the run as well because it was only so early in, but I probably should have cared because, like you was saying, if you could hear him there, I had a good Togepi. But yeah, we took down the Piplup there, and now Munchlax comes out, who's also one shot to Mach Punch. So we do that, win the fight, and then we go down into Overlevelling Cave, where an Onyx actually kills my B-Barrel while I'm trying to capture it, which seems to always be the case with this game. And because of it, I actually give it a quite not very nice nickname. But with that done, we're teams ready. I also made a Heaven Box and stick my B-Barrel in there. Then we go ahead into the Rourke fight. So the fight for the first gym badge, we head in with Trident up front, our Piplup. I did end up taking Piplup over Turtwig. And we get paralysed straight away, Thunder Wave. And now it starts actually doing quite bad things to us. Eventually though, we do manage to take down the Nose Pass, but it did come up being paralysed and losing half our life. Geodude then comes in next, and we know it's going to go for a Thunder Punch, so we go make the switch over into Onyx. Onyx here, we actually had a really bad Onyx as well. If you look here when we do our Bulldoze, it does horrible damage to Geodude. And then look how much damage Geodude does to us as well. Yeah, we had a horrible Onyx, so I weren't going to keep him in this fight. Let's just say he was going to get sacked. It had to be. So we go sack Onyx, and then we go bring in Monferno. So Monferno here is going to go for a Brick Break, take down Geodude. And then next up is going to be his own Onyx. And I'm going to make the switch here over into my Luxio, go for an Intimidate attack drop. And then I'm going to have to go switch again as well to keep it alive. And my switch here is to now go into Marill, who's now going to take physical attacks a bit better. And we're going to go for a Bubble Beam. So Bubble Beam here will one-shot the Onyx. And then next up out is going to come Cranidos. Now Cranidos is a bit scary. And the only way I was really going to get through this now was sacrificing my Luxio, but getting off another Intimidate attack drop. And by doing that, we lost our Luxio. But as he said, basically we had to go now into Beldum and hope to not get crit. So that was the way it was going to go. We was going to go for Iron Head here, put him down, and he actually survived on like 1 HP as well, which is crazy. But it's okay because we're going to obviously just kill him on the next turn. It will come at the expense of a bit of HP, but it's okay. But we're through there now, and now we've got Larvitar. So I'm going to make the switch back over into my Marill. And Marill here, I spam Aqua Jet, and Bite actually leaves me on 1 HP. So instead of losing a third Pokemon in this fight, I actually survived. But yeah, we got through with Marill alive. But now we had to go switch over. But now we had to go switch over into Monferno and hope that we wasn't going to die. And right now it was a damage roll, so he possibly could have killed us with a damage roll as well. But he went for a defense car. A crit or damage roll would have killed Monferno there and probably ended the run. But he went for the defense car, he threw the fight, and we beat Rourke on the next turn. With this now, our level cap is increased, so I do go evolve a few of my Pokemon like Metang, well, Beldum into Metang. I also go evolve my Magikarp into a Gyarados, for example. And after this, we go head into the Gardenia fight. So Gardenia here is just a very easy sweep. I'm sure you've probably seen it. Well, no, I'm sure you haven't seen it because you might not have seen the first 3 videos. I've took them down now, they're all enlisted, but basically we're going to bulk up and we're going to go +6. We only really need to go to +3 for this, but I like to go +6 because I can. Actually, I don't even think I'll go +6 there. Oh yeah, I do, I'll go +6. But anyway, basically, Roserade's going to break our sub and we're going to take it down. Then on the next turn, Grotto's going to come. We're going to also kill Grottle. And then when Tangela comes, we're going to resub. So basically we're going to sub back up now, and then we're going to go for our Flame Wheel, take down Tangela. Next Pokemon comes, it's Cherry, and we're going to knock it down into its Focus Sash. And then it's going to heal on this turn, we're going to hit it with a Mach Punch. So we do that, and now Breloom comes as the last Pokemon, so we're also going to hit this with a Flame Wheel, and that's Gardenia defeated for the 2nd gym badge. So with this our level cap increased, and we go ahead into the fight with Jupiter. So for Jupiter here, I started off with Rotom because I thought it was going to be a really good choice. And honestly, it wasn't. It was just on the really bad side of the look. So I had to go make a switch. And my switch here is to go over into Iron. So Iron here, my Metang is going to go for a Zen Headbutt. And then on the next turn, I actually went to go for a Bullet Punch and he switched into Sableye. I stay in going for an Iron Head, and we actually luckily don't lose Metang here to that Shadow Claw because it could have easily crit. Then I go make this switch over into Sting, and I know Sableye's not going to do much damage, so I Sword Dance and then go for an X-Scissor. Now what's crazy here, look at Golbat's HP. Okay, I know I used a move that was like 4 times resistant, but I was +2, I didn't think it was going to survive. But after this now, Tangela comes out, we go for another X-Scissor, risking the confusion, but it's okay, we get through it. X-Scissor again on the Skuntank. I think it's only -2 resistant as well on the Golbat, but still, either way, we managed to get through the fight. And then after this, we come to the bottom of Cycling Road, and our tree encounter there was a Munchlax, which is something that's very endgame, so we wanted that definitely. Then after this, we go into Wayward Cave. We also get our guaranteed encounter with a Gabolt, who's another endgame Pokemon, so we definitely want this. And then after all this, we go ahead into the fight with Mira. In this fight, I actually started throwing again as well, so we Shockwave, and we take down the Togetic. Then what comes out is Haunter, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I went into Iron, and I almost lost him because of it as well. It's very stupid, I'm not sure what I was thinking, but after I go into Umbreon, who I should have known because Umbreon's always been my way to defeat this Haunter. But we take down the Haunter after this from 2 crunches, and after comes out a Porygon Z. So for this, I know it's going to go for Signal Beam, which is super effective, so I do have to make another switch here. And I go into Oran, and for some reason, I thought, oh yeah, it's a good idea to substitute here, which it wasn't, so I'm not sure what I was thinking still. And it probably could have made this fight a lot worse than it was. But either way, we managed to get through the Porygon Z. And after this, what comes out now is her Kadabra. So her Kadabra comes out, and I'll go make the switch over into Sting because I feel like it's going to go for a Psychic attack. I take the Dazzling Gleam, go for an X-Scissor, take down the Kadabra and defeat Mira before heading down to Mount Coronet and getting into a fight with Dawn. So for Dawn here, we start off with Iron again, and we're going to go for an Iron Head on the Poliwag Swine. It doesn't know any ground type moves, which is a nice thing, but now Grottle actually does, so I am going to have to make a switch here. And I'm going to make this switch over into Magic to dodge the Bulldoze. And with this now, I'm going to go for a Bounce. I do actually miss it as well, but on the next time we go for another Bounce, take it down. Clefable comes. So Clefable, we know it's going to go for a Thunder Wave, well, I'm assuming, so I'm going to make the switch over into Wooper, dodge the Thunder Wave. Aqua Tower from here actually crits in one shots, but then Lopunny comes out. So Lopunny here, I'm going to make a switch over into Azurill. Azurill here, Poliwag. We're going to put it down into one shot, but we don't know if we actually survive the next hit or not. So, and it might not be an Aqua Jet range like I was hoping. So I go switch over into Gyarados, Intimidate attack drop, and then we go for an Aqua Tower, hit that, take down Dawn, and that's Dawn defeated. On the other side of Mount Coronet now, we go ahead into our first fight with Aaron. And now Aaron here is actually swept, so we're going to go into a substitute and we're going to bulk up to +6. Now I'm going to speed up this fight a little. Like, I know I'm using the normal audios, which not everyone likes, but I like it more because you hear the sound of the moves as well. But anyway, now we're +6. We're going to take down the Dustox, put the Beautifly onto its Focus Sash, sub upon its heel, and we're going to go for it again. So now next comes out Venomoth, who does break our substitute again. But when we Flame Wheel it, we take it down. And now Drapion's going to come out, and Drapion's a funny one. It's a 1 in 4 to kill me if it crits, basically, but it doesn't see the kill, so it's got a high chance of sword dancing as well, so it depends if you want to risk it. I decided to risk it this time, go for Flame Wheel, took down the Drapion, then Sizzle comes out, we Flame Wheel again, take down the Sizzle, and that's Aaron defeated. And pretty much after this, we go ahead into our third gym battle. So it's against Fantina here with a Slack Off that we evolved into Vigoroth that we caught in Eterna Forest. So we're going to substitute on the first turn on the car mod, then we're going to encore it. And what we do here basically now is we're just going to go spam bulk ups till we're +6. I think again it's one of those where I only really need to go to +4 or +3, but we're going to go to as much as we can just because we can. That's sort of the way I go about it. So I'm also not speeding up as well, if you notice here, and the reason is the text goes pretty fast. We want to see when encore ends basically, because however many bulk ups we manage to get before encore ends is when we're going to start attacking. We want to stay with our sub intact, and Drifblim, especially with all the Carmine boost that it's got, will break our sub. But right now we see that the encore's ended, and I go for the Shadow Claw, take out the Drifblim, and then next in is going to come her Gengar. So Fantina sends out Gengar, and again I go for another Shadow Claw here, dodge the Will-O-Wisp as well because I'm in a substitute, take down the Gengar. Level up also to level 34. One thing I want to express is I know we've got a level cap, but if we level up in the fight where the level cap is put in, we can still use said Pokemon. Spiritomb comes along, we take down Spiritomb, and then Miss Magius comes along, we take that after it breaks our sub. But now we've got Bayonet and Dusclops left, which we both one-shot. So we don't have to sub again or nothing like that. We go for the attacks, take them both down. And that's Fantina defeated, so we got our third gym badge now. And with our third gym badge, our level cap increases, and this is probably my favourite level cap part of the whole game because my main Pokemon can all get their third evolutions basically. So we go evolve people like Monferno and the rest of them, and we go ahead into our rival fight with Barry. So when we go get into this rival fight, I start off with a Magnezone here, and I go for a Discharge on a Staravia. It's one-shots that, so that's nothing to worry about. And then the next Pokemon that comes along is Heracross. Now Heracross here actually is going to hurt us, so I do make the switch over here into my Gyarados, give it an Intimidate attack drop, take a Brick Break, and then we go for a Bounce. It's also got the Berry that's going to lower the effects of flying type attacks, but we still one-shot, so it's perfect. Snorlax then comes along, and Snorlax here, I'm going to make the switch over into Oran, and Oran basically is just going to go for a close combat and take it down. So we take down Snorlax here with the close combat. And now we go make another switch here into our Magnezone again from the Prinplup. And with the Prinplup here, it's another Discharge, take it down, and that there is Barry defeated. So we get into the next fight, which is against Gentleman Backlot and Commander Saturn. And I start off with Sting, and basically in this fight, I go for substitute on the first turn. And I tried to set up some sword dances as well, because I know that my partner here, Barry, is not going to help me. He never does. So we sword dance on this turn here, and Wigglytuff actually breaks our sub here with a crit. And now I'm getting a tiny bit worried, so Instead of subbing back up, which I probably should have done, I go and just take down the Wigglytuff straight away. Now next up on their team after Bronzong takes down the Heracross, Espeon comes along. So for Espeon, I try to hit with an X-Scissor, but he protects and dodges it. But on this next turn, I do go for another X-Scissor and take it down. Snorlax actually kind of maybe helps a little, but you know, I go switch here into my own Snorlax as well. And the problem is because Raichu's Thunderbolt, I was probably in range there, so I had to go keep my Sting protected. Here though, I'll go for a Body Slam and I'll try and hit on the Raichu. Then this actual Barry Snorlax actually hits a Raichu with it, so I'll go direct mine to Bronzong. So Barry did actually help a tiny bit, but he doesn't help much. Let's be honest. But yeah, we go take down the Bronzong after this. Actually, Barry's one took that down as well, but now I gotta make a switch over into my Quagsire, because unlike Barry, if my Pokemon faint, they're fucking dead. So I've got to go switch here, and I go for an Earthquake. I don't care if I kill Barry's Pokemon in this fight, because his ones don't actually die, mine do. But yeah, after this, Artillery comes out. I gotta make a switch over into my Snorlax, who's very good special defensively. We tag team up on it between Prinplup and Snorlax, and we take it down and win the fight. After that, we head down into Veilstone City, and we go get into our 4th gym fight. And in our 4th gym fight, we start off with a Spiritomb that we caught on 209. And what we're going to do is we're going to disable on the first turn. And that gets rid of Medicham's only move that he can actually attack us with, which is Ice Punch. So from here, we're going to Nasty Plot 3 times and get ourselves to +6. And obviously behind a Substitute, we're going to go for Psychic and take down the Medicham. After Medicham goes down, the next Pokemon that comes in is her Machamp. So it's actually going to go for Thunder Punch and it won't break our Substitute here. So when we go for Psychic, we're going to take down the Machamp. And then next after this, Infernape comes along. If you heard my friend then, he's just told me that Spiritomb's unfair. But yeah, so Infernape here is going to go for a Fire Punch and it will break our Sub finally this time. But our Psychic here will kill it. So that means 3 of Maylene's Pokemon are now down. Next up comes in Lucario. So Lucario here, I can actually stay in here and take a shot. So Lucario will go for Flash Cannon. And it will only do about 60 life. It could have actually killed us if it done a crit, but we was okay. So right here, she goes for the heal, so we go for Psychic and take it straight back down. And then the next Pokemon that's going to come along right now is her Toxicroak. So for Toxicroak here again, we're just going to go for Psychic. It's going to hit us with a Sucker Punch. Doesn't do too much damage. We take it down, and now she's got one last Pokemon left, and it's Gallade. So for Gallade here, it actually can't hurt us. So we're just going to go for Psychic and take it down. It's going to be a bit of a slow takedown, but it cannot hurt us. So it's all good. We are not worried at all. We go for Psychic and we take down the Gallade. And that's it. That's Maylene defeated. So we're only keeping the main battles here. So we go all the way down to Pastoria and we go get into our 4th rival fight with Barry. And Barry here again, we're going to start off with our Spiritomb and we're going to disable on the first turn because after this, Staraptor actually hasn't got any moves to hurt us with. So we're going to start going for some substitutes. And we're also going to start Nasty Plotting to +3 again. Well, Nasty Plotting 3 times to go to +6. And when we're finally at +6 from the 3 Nasty Plots, we can start trying to take down Staraptors. So we go here for a Dark Pulse. And then the next Pokemon that comes in now is Arcanine. And Arcanine, again, we're going to go for another Dark Pulse. It's going to Heat Wave. And Heat Wave does break our substitute, but Dark Pulse takes it down one shot. Next Pokemon, Empoleon. So, Empoleon here, again, he goes for Swagger as well, which it does confuse us, but we take the risk anyway. Dark Pulse, knock the Empoleon down into one shot. And then it goes for a Scald on us. It could have killed us if it was a crit, but it doesn't. Dark Pulse, we take down the Empoleon. And then next up after this, they've got a Heracross. So right now we go make the switch over to Gyarados, give it an Intimidate attack drop, and then we go for a Dragon Dance. And then we go for Substitute. And then they don't break our Substitute and we go for Bounce. So Bounce here, one shots the Heracross after the Dragon Dance. And then next up's going to come in Breloom. And this Breloom's sashed. But because we're under Substitute, the move that it loves to spam, which is Spore, it can't actually hit us with. So we're safe. So we go for Bounce here. Knock the Breloom down onto its Focus Sash. It is going to break our Substitute with Rock Tomb. But now we have to hit Aqua Tail. And we do hit it. So it can't Spore us and start ruining things. And then after this now comes Snorlax. And for Snorlax, we're going to go Substitute. It's going to Body Slam, and it is going to break our Substitute as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to try Sub again just for the hell of it. And it does break our Sub. We was hoping it wasn't going to, but it is what it is. So we made a switch again back over into Spiritomb and do what we've done against the Staraptor. We go for Disable, which gets rid of the only move it can attack us with, which is Crunch. Disable that so it can't use it no more. And now we're going to go back to going into a Substitute. We're going to Nasty Plot. It's got high special defense, so we're probably going to need to do it. And while it's disabled, it doesn't matter anyway, so we may as well go for it with +2, Dark Pulse, and we take down the Snorlax into pretty low life, and then we finish it off after. And that's A defeated. Out of the Trophy Garden, we managed to find ourselves a Happiny, very luckily. And we go evolve that into a Chansey, another very high special defense Pokemon for the run. It's also going to help us a lot while we face Wake. We also go evolve this into a Blissey as well from Chansey. And then we go actually head into Wake for the 5th gym badge. So for Wake here, we're going to go with another strategy. We're going to start off with Quagsire. We're going to start off with our Azumarill to bait Earthquake. And we're going to go make the switch over into Togekiss. So Togekiss here now, we're going to go Substitute. Well, we're going to Encore first. And then we're going to Substitute. And then we're going to start Nasty Plotting to +6. And when we're finally at +6, we start going for the Moonblast, taking down Wake's Pokemon one by one. So Quagsire goes down, Gyarados comes in, Gyarados gets hit with a Moonblast. We're actually faster as well, which is very nice because sometimes it can be faster than you and break the sub. Out comes Floatzel, and Floatzel is faster than us, but it's nothing to worry about because again, while we've got Togekiss here, Togekiss gonna Moonblast, take down the Floatzel as well. And then Ludicolo is going to come in. And we go switch into our Blissey. And we basically just stall it out till it dies. Next up comes in Poliruff. So we send out Gyarados to give it an Intimidate attack drop. Get under a Substitute. Do a few Dragon Dances. And we take it down with a Bounce. After this, Sharpedo comes in. So we go for Bounce. Knock it down onto its Focus Sash. It is going to break our Substitute here. But it's also going to heal. So right now we go make a switch over into Oran. And now it's just kill. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for a Mach Punch, take it down, and that's Wake defeated. So in Pastoria City, we also go get ourselves an encounter in the water here, which is a Poliwag. Now this links in with the Togepi that we got earlier in the Egg and Jub life, because now that we've got this and we've also got Magikarp from earlier, and we never took the Togepi from Cynthia, we get an encounter in Eterna City. And with both the Poliwag and Magikarp, it means we're guaranteed Dratini. It's actually also a 10% chance in this route as well. But we managed to find ourselves a Bagon. So as you can see, this run was going amazing. We go capture the Bagon eventually. And I go give it an Dino. And also our level cap's increased. Although it's not actually been updated on the screen yet. We're now at a level cap of 53. So it means a lot of our other Pokemon can start evolving now. So we go evolve Metang into Metagross, Gabolt into Garchomp, and then we go head all the way down into the next Dawn fight. Now this Dawn fight's quite a fun one. We know how to basically get through the fight. So we start off with Garchomp and we're going to go Earthquake on the Alakazam. One shot, take it down. Next up's going to come in Mamoswine, and it's going to go for an Ice type move here. So what we got to do is we got to go switch over into Iron. But not only does Iron take the Ice Shard, it also baits Earthquake. So now we go switch over into Togekiss, Encore, Substitute, Nasty Plot to +6, and that's the fight one. So Moonblast take down the Mamoswine, then Moonblast will take down the Clefable, and basically we're just going to spam this throughout the rest of the fight. We've won. There's no stopping us now. So Moonblast take down the Vaporeon. Another Moonblast after takes down the Lopunny. And then it's Torterra. And Torterra is also not going to survive the Moonblast. So we take that down. And that's done defeated. And with done defeated, we go ahead into our next fight with Cyrus. Well, it's not our next fight. We go ahead into the next fight, which is Cyrus. So for Cyrus here, we're going to start off with Rotom Heat. Get put to sleep on the first turn. Wake up on the next one. Take down the Crobat. And then after this, Honchkrow's going to come. So Honchkrow, another Thunderbolt, take it down. And now in comes Weavile. So Weavile here will not survive the Overheat. It'll go for a Sword Dance because it don't see a kill. We're probably in crit range, but we go for the Overheat, take that down. Then Magnezone comes along, and another Overheat, even at -2, still kills it. So that was Cyrus 1 defeated. With Cyrus 1 defeated, now comes one of the more scarier battles of the run against Castlevale Darak. And here actually, I like to go with Staraptor. So Staraptor here with Brave Bird, Reckless, and Choice Scarf will take down that Gallade straight away. Then Empoleon's going to come in, which is special attacker. So we switch into Snorlax. And we basically go for a crunch and slack off spam until it finally goes down. And eventually when it does go down, the next Pokemon that's going to come in is Alakazam. And Alakazam, again, Another special attacker that relies on Focus Blast, which doesn't actually kill us at full HP. And then when we go for a crunch, we take it down. So that's Alakazam also down. And now Metagross comes. So for Metagross, I have to go make this switch here over into Garchomp. We go for an Earthquake, take that down. And then Entei comes. And Entei's a bit scary, but not too bad, because I know it's not going to do too much to us here with the moveset it's got. We go for an Earthquake. We activate its Berry. It survives. He heals. And then we go for another Earthquake and take it down on the next turn. Then Staraptor comes in. So Staraptor, I switch to Gyarados, give it an Intimidate Attack drop. Then I go switch over into Magnezone, because it does no close combat. After the Intimidate Attack drop, close combat doesn't do too much damage. And then we can safely take it down with a Thunderbolt and defeat Darak. With Darak defeat, we can now move to the next location, which is Cantileve City, where we get into Rival Fight 5. So when we go get into this fight, we're going to start off with Staraptor again. And Staraptor here, Brave Bird, take down that Staraptor, takes down the Heracross, and it would also take down a Breloom, but Breloom's sashed, so we do have to make the switch here. And I'm going to make the switch over into Iron. And Iron here is going to go for a Zen Headbutt. It's not completely safe because he does paralyze us with Force Palm. But then on the next turn, I do go for Bullet Punch and take it down. Arcanine then comes. So for Arcanine, we're going to make another switch. It's into Gyarados, Intimidate Attack drop. Then we're going to go for a substitute. And it does go for a Flare Blitz again here. Our sub finally breaks, so I sub back up once more. And I actually forgot to put leftovers on in this fight. So, you know, it's what happens when you rush into fights too much. I could have thrown this fight pretty easily. But yeah, after this we go for an Aqua Tower. It does break our sub with extreme speed. And then Snorlax comes, which I'm faster than. And I do take the risk and Aqua Tower that down as well. Then Empoleon comes. So Empoleon, we're going to switch again. And we're going to go into Magnezone. So for Magnezone here, it's just a Thunderbolt and we're going to take it down. And that's our rival Barry defeated. So we have to go all the way to Iron Island. So against Riley right now, when we go get into the battle, we start off with our Staraptor again. And Staraptor, Reckless, Choice Band, and Brave Bird will take down Absol. It'll also one-shot the Lucario. And then next after this, it also one-shots the Ursaring as well. But now we gotta be careful, because we're obviously going to die from recalls. So we do have to make the switch now. And we're going to make this switch over into Magic. So Magic here, Intimidate Attack drop. I go over into my Metagross for a bit. And then I go switch back over into Magic again. And then I start Dragon Dancing. So we Dragon Dance. Aqua Tower, take that down. After this though, Salamence comes in, and Salamence here, I'll go for a bounce thinking I'd be slower, which was actually really dumb because I've used a bunch of Dragon Dances. But because of its Power Herb, it comes down before us, which means we attack after. And then next up comes in Metagross, and Metagross here is just one Aqua Tail away from going down, and that's Riley defeated. And with Riley defeated, we can finish all the Iron Island parts and head over into the Cantileve Gym. And now this fight really reminds me of Sabrina from Gen 1, because if you play it rightly, it's impossible to lose, honestly. So Bronzong comes out, you start off with Garchomp, go for a Dragon Claw, and it actually one-shots. I think it was a critical hit though. Then Steelix comes along, Earthquake, one-shot. The next Pokemon comes along, we're going to knock him down onto his Focus Sash, and he's going to break our sub with Head Smash. Then after this, Byron's going to heal him. So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute on the heal. And we're going to go back to sweeping. So Earthquake, take down the Aggron. And then next up comes along Bastodion. We're going to Earthquake, take that down. And then the next Pokemon's going to come along, which is Fortress. And again, another Earthquake. We take that down. And pretty much then Magnezone comes. So Magnezone, another Earthquake. Take that down. And that's Byron defeated. We got a 6th gym badge. And we're going to move on to another fight with Saturn. So in this fight, we're going to leave with Spiritomb because this Alakazam can't hurt us. So that means we can set up a free sub on first turn. And then we're going to go for a Dark Pulse. Take down the Octillery. Rhydon then comes along. And although it does break as substitute, we also take that down with Dark Pulse. But next up comes Bronzong, and Bronzong again does Iron Head us. We could have probably subbed up again there, but we didn't. We just took it down. Toxicroak comes along. Doesn't actually do much to us, but it does miss as well. We go for a Dark Pulse, take down the Toxicroak. And then next up comes along Alakazam, who can't hurt us, so it goes for a Calm Mind. Dark Pulse at +6 will still take it down. And that's Saturn defeated, which means we can move on to the next lake and go fight with Mars. So Mars here has got a Crobat that just absolutely loves to spam double team, so we're just going to do it back. But basically what we keep is we keep Shockwave for this fight, so even though Crobat and myself are both at +6 evasiveness, we can still hit every time. And they actually can't hit us as well as they would probably hope. So we take down the Crobat, then 3 Thunderbolts will take down the Bronzong. Next up comes Yanmega, which we're faster than, so Thunderbolt will take that down. And then out comes Kangaskhan. So Kangaskhan Thunderbolt will put it down into just over half life, put it down into one shot, then finish it off on the next turn. Then Perugly comes, so again Thunderbolt, take it down into one shot, and then we're going to finish it off on the next turn before going all the way up to Snowpoint City, having to do the fight outside the temple before we can actually go in. So what I like to do in this fight is I start off with a Pinsir that I caught just before on 209 and Snorlax. So here we go for a close combat on the Blissey to take it down, and Snorlax here basically is going to switch, because what it's going to do is it's going to bait close combat. We're going to go switch it into Salamence, give him an Intimidate attack drop, and now Meganium comes in after we take down the Blissey. So for right now I'm going to go for a Fly, and I'm going to try and hit it on the Meganium, while I also go for a close combat on the Heracross. Meganium and Heracross both survive, but Meganium's very weak. So is Pinsir, and I like to keep Pinsir alive, so I'm going to switch that over into my Metagross, take a Rock Slide and Petal Dance, before on the next turn being able to go for a Zen Headbutt and try and take down the Heracross. It protects, but we do take down the Meganium with Fly. Feraligatr comes in now, and Feraligatr is part Dark type in this game, so I do go make the switch over into my Milotic to dodge any Dark type move being used on my Metagross. But sadly for this fight, I rushed into it again, sort of like the Barry fight in Cantileve, and the move that I wanted to have, which would have been Moonblast, we didn't know. So I go for a Confused Ray for Alligator, but that seems to just do well enough anyway. So with this, I go for a Surf on the next turn, and I also Protect. This start trying to take down damage off them, but because Dino's getting into very low life now, we are going to have to switch him. So I go for another Surf, and also bring his Snorlax to very high special defensively. We're sort of just going to be spamming some Slack off and recovers for a bit, just to try and keep ourselves alive. And we almost actually lost Snorlax there. That could have been a damage roll, so it was pretty lucky. But basically, we just keep going for it, getting ourselves into a position where I do feel comfortable to start attacking again. Hail's also going to be doing its thing and chipping away. So what's nice about this is it does actually kill the Feraligatr as well with the Confused Ray. And our Tyranitar's on pretty low life, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Confuse Ray, I'm going to Slack off one more time. He's going to get hurt by the confusion, and it's going to put Snorlax back to full life, which means I can safely now go for another Surf. We go for that, Slack off back to full life, and now Typhlosion comes along. So for Typhlosion here, it's another Surf, and we're going to follow up with a Body Slam as well. And the two attacks put together will take down the Typhlosion, and that's that fight defeated. And with that fight defeated, we can move on to Candice, the 7th gym leader of the run. So for Candice, I've actually led with my Staraptor again, but this time I gave it an Expert Belt instead of its Scarf. And with this, what we're going to do is we're going to Brave Bird, take down the Bomb the Snow, then on the next turn, Glaceon's going to come, and we're going to close combat and take that down too. With this, Weavile comes in, and Weavile's sashed, so we do have to go make the switch here over into Kawaii. But what we did is we actually relearned Moonblast this time, which we should have done in the last fight. We knock it down onto its Focus Sash, and now we also go make a switch because the move it's going to use is going to probably kill us. So we switch over into Iron, and Iron here is going to finish it off with a Bullet Punch. Mamoswine then comes along, so for Mamoswine we switch over into our Gyarados, and Gyarados we go make another switch after into Kawaii. And Kawaii here is going to recover first, but then it's going to try and hit this as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for a Surf. We're going to break its berry. And now we see that it's in a comfortable shot to take it down. So we're going to recover back to as much HP as we can. And we're going to kill it on this turn with Surf. So that's Mamoswine down. And then next up, we've now got Frostlass. So for Frostlass, I'm going to make the switch over into Snorlax. And Snorlax here can basically just outstall this. So we're going to go for some crunches and some slack offs to keep ourselves healthy, until we eventually do take down the Frostlass. It has got a life orb, so we can just stall it out that way. And when it does go down, then she's got one Pokemon left, which is Wolverine. So for Wolverine here, we go for a Body Slam, and it is basically just a spam of the moves until one of us goes down. We're going to keep using Slack Off, so we're never really going to go down, but eventually Wolverine does go down, and that's Candice defeated. With Candice defeated, we go back over into Veilstone, into Galactic HQ, and go ahead into Cyrus 2. For the Cyrus 2 fight, we're going to lead off with Kawaii against Crobat, then we're going to go make the switch over into Garchomp, because this baits cross poison, and Crobat here is choice band. So with this done, we're going to go into a substitute which it can't actually break, and now we're going to start sword dancing. Eventually when we're at +6 sword dance and under a substitute, we start sweeping. So we take down the Crobat, and then next up comes Weavile. So it Ice Shards breaks our sub and we kill it with Earthquake. Then next up out comes Honchkrow, and Honchkrow's going down to a Dragon Claw, so we take that down. And then Houndoom comes, so Houndoom, Earthquake, take that down. Magnezone, another Earthquake, take that down. And that's Cyrus defeated in the Cyrus 2 fight. But now we've got to fight Saturn again at the end of Galactic HQ. So for this fight, I'm actually going to go for a confused round Bronzong. It wasn't too necessary. I could have just led with Garchomp, but hopefully, I was kind of hoping it wasn't going to get up Reflect. But even with it done, it's okay, because now we're going to substitute and we're going to start sword dancing again. And eventually, when we're under a sub and we're at +6 sword dance, we do 2 Dragon Claws, take down a Bronzong. Octillery comes, take it down with an Earthquake. We pretty much basically sweep Alakazam, take it down, another Earthquake. Toxicroak comes along, it is sashed, so we're going to knock it down into 1 HP. And it is going to break our sub, but it's not going to kill us because we're going to kill it. So Dragon Claw on the next turn, take that down. Then Rhyperior comes, so another Earthquake will take that down. And now Magmortar. So for Magmortar here, we go for a Dragon Claw, take it down. And that's Saturn defeated. Saturn defeated though means we got to now scale to the top of Mount Coronet and get into a fight with both Mars and Jupiter in the big 12v12. So I go for an Iron Head on the Crobat here, just to try and take it down. I want to go for this one on the left as well, because it likes to spam double team. But what we do here is we go for another Iron Head on the next turn. Staraptor hits Gastrodon with a Brave Bird, and then we finish it off with an Iron Head as well, so we double up on it. Now I actually don't like Barry all too much in this fight, because I don't feel it really helps too much. So I'm kind of 6 versus 12 a little. So what we're basically doing here is we're in because we're high special defensively. So we can take things like a Focus Blast pretty easily. But then after this, Electivire comes in. So I'm going to have to switch because Electivire is part fighting type in this game. So I'll go make the switch over into my Magnezone here. And Magnezone's going to go for a Zen Headbutt on the Electivire. And Heracross actually kind of does help by Mega Horning and taking down the Tangrowth. Then Yang Mega comes along and so does the old Crobat. So for the old Crobat here, I aim an Iron Head again on it. And we go take it down. Arcanine comes along for Barry, so Barry's Arcanine here is going to go for an attack on the Yam Mega that gets detected as I hit Sableye with an Iron Head, then finish it off with a Bullet Punch on the next turn. A Wild Charge after puts Yam Mega into very low life, but because I got hit by a Shadow Ball, I'm going to be forced to switch here, so I go back over into Snorlax. Arcanine finishes off the Yam Mega, and while I've got Snorlax in right now for Snorlax here, I start trying to spam some Slack Offs. And it's quite lucky as well, because if we got doubled up on then by a Skuntank and Kangaskhan, I probably would have lost Snorlax. Sometimes you just got to take these risks though, it's just how it's got to go. Got no other choice sometimes. Well, you kind of do, but you also kind of don't as well. But then from Snorlax, I go switch over into my Salamence, and Salamance's going to give him an Intimidate attack drop. And now on the next turn, I'm going to Dragon Claw, take down a Skuntank. And then Empoleon's going to put Kangaskhan down into half-life. I'm going to finish it off on the next turn after as well with a Dragon Claw. Bronzong uses Psychic and puts me into very low life. So I've got to go make the switch over into my Snorlax again because I'm very worried about losing my Pokemon. And from here, I'm just going to go spam up my Slack Offs, keep myself on high life, before trying to hit them with Crunches as well to take them down. So we take down the Bronzong. And now only one person on my side of the team are left with Pokemon. And only one person on their team, on their side, is left with Pokemon. So it's now a 1v1 instead of a 2v2 or a 2v1. And eventually we put Bronzong into a killable range whilst we've got a good HP. And then Perugly comes. So for Perugly, I'm going to go for a Body Slam. It's also going to Body Slam me as well. And I'm going to slack off and keep myself healthy before switching over into Magic, because Magic gives an Intimidate attack drop, and then going for an Aqua Tower to take it down. And with that done, that was a 12v12 done, so we head into the Distortion World, into Cyrus 3. Now this is the other fight I hate. I guess it can just all go so wrong possibly, but it goes nicely here. We're going to start off by leading with 2 Pokemon that know Mirror Coat. So we're going to use Mirror Coat on this first turn. And basically we're going to send back every attack they use on us back to them. So we take down a Palkia. Now Slug is probably in range to Aurora Time here. So that might not have worked. but we managed to get through without any deaths, so that's nice. And then we go ahead into the second part of Cyrus 3. And basically, with the way we set our team up, we got Kawaii up front. So Kawaii can make the switch over into Iron, who doesn't get hurt by cross poison. But then we also make a switch over into Garchomp. Then I thought, what am I doing? So I want to switch back over into Iron. And I go for a Zen Headbutt and take down the Crobat. And then Houndoom comes along. So Houndoom, I'm going to have to switch here into my Snorlax. He Dark Pulses and gets us with the flinch. And then on the next turn when we try to heal, he also gets us with another Dark Pulse flinch. So it's not going so greatly for Snorlax here. I go switch here, and Milotic takes a Brave Bird before going for a Moonblast, taking that down. Magnezone comes, so Magnezone's a switch to Garchomp. Now I thought this is perfect time to set up, so I went for 3 Sword Dances, got myself to +6 under a sub, Earthquake, hit the Magnezone, and we took that down. And then Weavile comes along, so we're under a sub now, so we're protected from Weavile, and we knock it down onto its Focus Sash before being forced to switch. So I go switch over into my Metagross, we hit him with a Bullet Punch and take him down, and now it's just Gyarados left. So for Gyarados, we're just going to try and fight back with some Zen Headbutts for now, before we get put into a range where we're probably going to die. So I go switch over into my Gastrodon, and we go for a Strength here. We actually survive the Aqua Tower, take it down. That's Cyrus 3 defeated. So then we can head down to Sunny Shore and we can get into the fight with Volkner. So Volkner here can be sometimes a very nice sweep again. So we're going to take this Shadow Ball and then put ourselves under a sub. Now from here we're going to Sword Dance, get ourselves to +6. Subbing up every time he breaks our sub. Subbing basically we put ourselves to here and then we Dragon Claw him onto his Focus Sash. And then after this, while he heals, we're going to substitute back up again. So now he's got no sash and we kill him without him breaking our sub. So we take him down. Then Luxray comes, so Earthquake, take that down. Next Pokemon's Electivire, so we're also going to take that down with an Earthquake. Then Raichu comes, so Raichu, Earthquake, take that down. Next Pokemon's Rotom, Dragon Claw, so we take that down. And then he's also got one more Rotom, so we're going to Dragon Claw that, take that down. And that's Volkner defeated for the 8th gym badge. So now we can move our way up to Victory Road, where we go get into a fight with Riley. Now what I do in Victory Road is, I keep my main Pokemon that I'm going to take to the Elite Four and keep them in the PC. So then if I lose any Pokemon in the fights during Victory Road, I don't lose any of my main team. So you may see a few Pokemon here that you haven't seen in the run yet. We take down the Starmie with Brave Bird, and he also hits level 76 as well, and our level cap is 75, so that means it's our first Pokemon to ever make it to retirement. And then Sceptile comes, which is going to kill Slug, so I go make the switch over into Pinch. And I tried to go for a Mega Horn here, but he does take us down, so we've had a death there. But now our Choice Scarf Staraptor can get a safe switch, and we're going to go take him down with a Brave Bird. The next Pokemon that comes is Weavile. Now I was getting scared that this was sashed, and it's not. I'm not sure why as well, because I had the documents up as well, but either way we go switch over into our Empoleon. We take a low kick, we use a Brick Break, and we take him down. And then Arcanine comes, so Arcanine here, we're going to go make another switch. And we're going to go switch into Kite, a man team we caught just before Victory Road. And here we go for a Hydro Pump, we do miss it. But then on the next turn, we go for another Hydro Pump and we take down the Arcanine. And then Crobat comes, so for Crobat here, we're going to go make the switch into Magnezone. Thunderbolt, take down the Crobat, and that's Marley defeated actually. So basically, now that our Staraptor's level 76, we go back to the PC, we make the retirement box because he's over level cap now, we can't use him no more. And then we go and continue to try and clear out Victory Road, where we get another death on our Crobat against a Machamp. But then after all this, we manage to get ourselves up to Dawn. So for the Dawn fight, we're going to start off with a Slacking that we've got, and we've also given it the Choice Scarf. So I go for a Strength here, take down the Alakazam. Lopunny comes, so we're going to switch. And we're going to go switch over into Kite, take a Fake Out, and then we're going to try and go for Fly as well. So we go for Fly, take down the Lopunny. Then the next Pokemon that comes along is Mamoswine. So Mamoswine here, we're going to make another switch. And the switch here for Mamoswine, it's quite a difficult one because Mamoswine basically counters all our Pokemon, almost anyway. So we go over into Trident, take a lot of damage from a Stone Edge, before then going for a Scald and taking it down. The next Pokemon then is Torterra, so we're going to have to switch. We go over into Kite to dodge an Earthquake, and we go for Surf. Surf does pretty much bad damage. We go for a Fly as well. Doesn't do too much damage either, and we activate its Berry before we go for a Hydro Pump and then die to a Stone Edge. After this, he's in range for Sting, so we send in Sting, Cross Poison, take down the Torterra. Clefable comes, another Cross Poison, take that down. Then Vaporeon comes in. Vaporeon's actually so annoying in this fight. It just stalled me out for ages. Especially considering I was using Magnezone. It was just stalling it out completely. So we use Thunderbolt on this turn, activates Berry, it survives, it rests, and it just will not die. And because of the muddy water, our accuracy is lower, so it took a long time, but we eventually take it down, and that's Dawn defeated. So then we head into the Elite Four. But before we can get into that fight, we got to do our last rival fight with Barry. I had a really good Rotom in this run, so I've done some damage calcs. So after the Empoleon comes down, Heracross comes out, we know it's going for a Stone Edge to kill us, so we switch to Trident. And then we go switch over into our Dusclops as well, because it's going for a fighting type attack after. Before we basically just Confuse Ray, get ourselves under a substitute, and we just try and stall it out basically. Shadow Punch here. After getting hurt from Confusion, we'll take down the Heracross, and Arcanine comes. And it's basically the same thing here as well we're going to try. So we're just going to Confuse Ray, take down Arcanine, do what we can. Flare Blitz going to put us into real low life, so we can't sub back up. So we go for a Shadow Sneak. Then we go for another Shadow Sneak on the next turn, and we do get taken down. So then Sting comes in to finish it off, so we go for a Cross Poison here, take down the Arcanine. Then Snorlax comes, so we go for a Sword Dance, followed by another Sword Dance because it's going for Curse, so we're basically +2 attack over its defense boosts. And then we're going to go for a Cross Poison, take that down. Breloom comes, another Cross Poison, take that down. It's Barry defeated, so we head into the Elite Four now. So our first fight against Elite Four Aaron, we're going to start off with our Typhlosion, who's holding a Choice Scarf, but it's also got adaptability. So it's just perfect for this. Take down the Yanmega, and then Armaldo's going to come and we're going to take down that. Drapion comes in, we knock it down into very low life. It was a damage roll, he heals, and we get the damage roll the next turn. Heracross comes, Flamethrower, take that down. Vespiquen, another Flamethrower, take it down. And then after this, Sizzle, so we take that down too. And that's Aaron defeated. Next up's Bertha, so we're going to start off with Gyarados here, hoping for Tyranitar, we got it. Then what we're going to do here is we're going to go switch over into Garchomp because it's stuck with a choice item and not be able to hit us, but it actually misses there as well, and I think it went for Stone Edge. But either way, it's stuck into Stone Edge now, and after stalling out its moveset and setting ourselves up to +6 Sword Dance, it starts struggling, and now we're going to start going for some kills. So we go for an Earthquake, take down Tyranitar, and basically we sweep the rest of this fight as well. So Mamoswine then comes in, so Mamoswine Earthquake, we take that down. And then the next Pokemon comes, which is Rhyperior, so another Earthquake, take it down. Quagsire, I don't know if it's unaware or not, but we do take it down. It is a crit, but we still take it down. Dugtrio then, another Earthquake, take that down. And then lastly, they're going to send in Torterra, who we also take down with a Dragon Claw here. So that was Bertha defeated. And now we can move on to Flint. So for Flint here, I'm going to start off with my Magic again. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to switch here. And we're going to go over into Snorlax because this thing's going to go for a lot of special attacking moves. So we take the Solar Beam quite nicely. And then we start just healing up and trying to take down the Pokemon. So we'll just slack off some Body Slam spams until it goes down. And eventually when we're at full life, we go for a Body Slam, take down the Ninetales. And then the next Pokemon that comes is Lopunny. So Lopunny's going to kill us, so we have to switch. And we go make the switch over into Gyarados to give it an Intimidate attack drop. It misses High Jump Kick as well. So then when we go for a substitute here, it doesn't do anything to us. Then it goes for a Mega Kick, which breaks our sub. But we can go for a Dragon Dance here, and then I'll go for a Bounce. We come down on the next turn, hit Lopunny with Bounce, take it down. And then Magcargo comes, so for Magcargo here, we probably do just kill with an Aqua Tail, but I'm not sure as well because of Sun. So I let it break my sub, and then I go make a safe switch over into Lax, because why risk anything if you know Snorlax can handle it. So we go over into Snorlax, take the Solar Beam, and basically it's just a crunch and slack off spam until it goes down. Eventually after stalling it out, we put it into very low life, heal up one more time, and then we go take it down with a crunch. The next Pokemon coming in now is Magmortar. So Magmortar, we're going to go for a Body Slam, put it down into one shot. We're also going to heal up now as well. Keep ourselves nice and healthy before we go take it down on this turn with another Body Slam. That Body Slam does actually burn us, but it's all good. It's not going to do too much problem to us because when Arcanine comes out now, I'm going to go switch over into Gyarados. We're going to give it an Intimidate attack drop. This is a more physical based Pokemon, so we never stay with Snorlax. And then I go for a substitute and notice it's trying to hit me with Wild Charge. So I know I've got a switch here to keep myself protected. So I go make another switch then over into Garchomp. Its wild charge doesn't hurt us because we're immune, so we go for an Earthquake then, and then Charizard comes. So for Charizard here, I'm going to substitute, and it's going to go for a Dragon Pulse. So we bait its move basically, we see what it's trying to hit, so we go make a switch then over into Snorlax again, because Snorlax is very high special defensively. It's also got choice specs as well, and the burn makes it a lot harder for what we're trying to do, but basically we're just trying to stall it out till every time we get to a good amount of HP before we can feel safe to hit an attack and be able to heal on the next turn. So we go for a Body Slam. It doesn't do much damage to Charizard because of a burn, so we just got to keep doing what we got to do though. We got to keep trying our best to give it hits. And then I actually eventually run out of slack offs as well. So now I've just got a Body Slam and try and take it down, which we do, which means Flint is defeated. We then get our next fight against the 4th member of the Elite Four, Lucian. So we head in there, Alakazam versus our Typhlosion, and we go for an Eruption because we're at high HP. And we knock him down onto his Focus Sash. Now they're going to heal, so we're going to use Eruption again. Pray that we don't get paralyzed and take it down. Then Starmie comes, so for Starmie we're going to have to switch, of course. We go switch over into Snorlax. Now I actually forgot to give myself my slack offs back here, but either way we go for a crunch, knock it down into very low life. And then we're going to go make the switch over into Milotic. I was trying to get it to take itself down with its Life Orb, it didn't happen. Now I know it's going for a Thunderbolt, so switch over into Garchomp. And then I go take it down with a Dragon Claw. Next Pokemon that comes is Gardevoir, so I'm forced to switch over into my Metagross. And Metagross here, we're going to go for an Iron Head, do what we can to it, take it down. And then the next Pokemon that comes is Gallade. So Gallade, we make a switch over into our Gyarados, give it an Intimidate Attack Drop. And then we try to sub up, just to see what move it's going to go for. It uses Psycho Cut, which still breaks our sub even at -1. So I do go for Bounce. Bounce hits a Gallade and takes it down. And then Metagross comes, so Metagross, we're going to switch over into Garchomp, go for an Earthquake, we're going to one-shot that. And then Executor comes, so for Executor, it's going to Leech Seed, we substitute, dodge it, set ourselves up to +6, even though we didn't really need to do it. Then we Dragon Claw and take down the Executor. With that done, now there's only Cynthia left, so we go ahead into the final fight of the run. So we head into the fight, we start off with Snorlax. Now the one way I normally break this fight, well, found to break this fight, is to spam Attract, but it's not going to go so well for me here because I forgot to change my moves. So we've got nothing that actually hurts Spiritomb, which means we're forced to switch. So I'm going to make this switch over into my Typhlosion. Typhlosion here with a Flamethrower is going to put the Spiritomb down into one shot. We're going to finish it off on the next turn. After this, their Garchomp comes out, which is going to kill us. So I'm going to make this switch over into Kawaii, hit it with a Moonblast, knock it down into one shot. Then I try to go for a Recover as they switch into Roserade. So Roserade here means I'm going to switch back over into my own Snorlax. And we're going to try basically what we did on Spiritombs before trying to hit it with a Zen Headbutt. We knock it down into about 2/3 before then trying to heal up. We go for a Body Slam though, knock the Roserade down into one shot, and it gets paralyzed as well before they switch into their Lucario. Now with this, it means I'm going to have to switch my Snorlax to keep him alive because I'm going to need him still in the fight. So I go switch over into my Gyarados, take a high jump kick, and then we set up a substitute, realizing it's probably not all too safe to try and set up a substitute in Dragon Dance. So I go switch over into my Milotic, and then I go switch over into Gyarados again to give it another Intimidate Attack Drop. And we also take a high jump kick here as well after missing Aqua Tower, so it's not going so great, but I have to take the risk anyway. And he goes for extreme speed and takes us down. So then I switch over into Garchomp, take down the Lucario with Earthquake. Togekiss comes along and we actually can't hurt this at all, so I have to switch over into my Metagross. And then we're going to go for an Iron Head here, knock it down. It's going to be into one shot now, so we go for another Iron Head on the next turn, take it down. And then Garchomp comes, so Garchomp means I've got to switch over into my Milotic, and we got to take it down. But basically we want to keep ourselves healthy first, so I go for 2 recovers. And it actually hits us with a Stone Edge crit. So I go for a Moonblast here just because I'm getting a bit worried. Take down the Garchomp. Then Roserade comes back in. So Roserade, we go for a Moonblast. I thought it was actually going to kill it as well, but it didn't. So we go make the switch over into Snorlax. And it actually wasn't too good for us either because they use a full restore which gets rid of the Paralysis. So I go make the switch over to Snorlax, give it an Attract. We just survived a burn, and then I tried to go for a slack off hoping it will work, but Roserade takes us down. After this though, I make the switch over into Iron. We go for a Zen Headbutt, take down the Roserade, and then now it's just Milotic. So Milotic here, so we tried to give it an Iron Head and get hurt by our own Paralysis. And we try it again on the next turn, and we actually do manage to hit him this time. I should have probably went for Bullet Punch there, but I went for the kill. And because of this, Milotic takes down the Metagross. I go switch over into Garchomp. Machamp and I go for a Sword Dance. Now this was actually pretty stupid because I go for another Sword Dance here as well and take an Ice Beam. We probably just would have killed it at +2. But anyway, I go for an Earthquake, take it down, and that's Cynthia defeated, which means we've beaten the challenge and we've beaten the run. Hopefully you've all enjoyed. If you have, be sure to like and comment because it helps out the channel massively, it helps the video massively, and it shows me that you're enjoying the content as well. If you made it all the way here and you find that you've enjoyed the video, make sure you do smash that subscribe button. We've also got a playlist with a bunch of other challenges just like this you can check out. I'll leave a link for that down in the description. But yeah, that's it. Renegade Platinum after 4 attempts and 64 deaths. It's finally done.
Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.